High in the Andes of northern Peru, a fortress sits above the clouds. It is called Cuilap. Aerial shot through swirling mist showing walls along the ridge. For centuries, it was hidden by the dense cloud forest that covers these mountains. Immense stone walls, silent round houses. The people who built it were the Chachapoya, the warriors of the clouds, named by the Inca, their rivals to the south. The Chachapoya thrived here for nearly 1,000 years, their lives shaped by the ever-present mist, the rugged, vertical landscape they called home. Their story, resilience, artistry, eventual quiet disappearance. Cuelap is not a small place, one of the largest ancient stone monuments in the Americas. Outer walls stretch nearly 600 meters. Walls rise up to 20 meters high, perched on a long, narrow ridge nearly 3,000 meters above sea level. From here, they could see for miles across the Utcubamba Valley. The location of Cuelap was chosen with great care. It sits in a region known as the Cheia de Selva, or the eyebrow of the jungle. This is where the high, dry Andes begin to drop into the Amazon basin. The climate is defined by near-constant moisture. A thick mist often blankets the landscape, rising from the valley floor and clinging to the stone walls of the fortress. This environment provided abundant water and fertile soil on the mountain slopes. They terraced those slopes for farming. The mist was a constant companion, shaping their worldview. The walls of Cuilap are made from limestone blocks, quarried from the mountainside itself. The builders did not use mortar in the same way other cultures did. Instead, they fit the stones together with remarkable precision, filling gaps with a mixture of clay and small stones. Over the centuries, the damp climate encouraged growth. Moss, lichens, and even trees on the walls. The stone is now green and gray, blending into the forest. The walls seem to rise naturally from the mountain. The misty climate was also a key part of Cuelap's defense. Approaching armies faced steep, treacherous paths while unable to see their target. Inside the great walls of Cuelap, the Chachapoya built their homes. Unlike the Inca, famous for rectangular buildings, the Chachapoya exclusively built circular structures. Over 400 of these round houses are visible within the fortress. They measure 7 to 10 meters across, with stone walls about 2 meters high, built from the same local limestone as the main fortifications. Each house topped by a tall conical roof of wood poles and thick thatch to shed constant rain. Foundations still stand today, clustered across Cuelap's levels. The interior looks like a stone honeycomb. Most houses had a single small doorway. Inside, archaeologists found hearths for cooking, guinea pig hutches, and grinding stones for processing grain. These were family homes, the basic units of Chachapoya society. The circular design is a clear cultural marker in the land of the warriors of the clouds. Even under Inca rule, the roundhouse tradition persisted. Some houses show geometric friezes carved into stone, patterns of zigzags and rhomboids unique to Chachapoya art, adding beauty and meaning to functional structures. The daily life of the Chachapoya was one of skilled craftsmanship and hard work. They were expert farmers, they were expert weavers, and expert stonemasons. On the terraces surrounding Cuelap, they cultivated the crops that sustained their society: maize, potatoes, and quinoa. Sophisticated drainage channeled constant mist and rain, built into the fortress and the terraces. Their most common motifs include zigzags and rhomboids, along with stylized birds, felines, and human figures. Though the cloud forest rarely preserves cloth, dry tombs held exquisite textiles. They wove with cotton and the wools of llamas and alpacas, creating finely detailed fabrics with vibrant colors. Patterns and weaving echo designs carved in stone, a unified artistic vision. Life inside Cuelap was communal, dense, and organized. The fortress required coordinated labor over generations. Their hands shaped stone, wood, and thread. Through everyday creation, they forged a resilient culture in a challenging, beautiful landscape. Their legacy still speaks from the stones, The Chachapoya kept their dead in view, not buried out of sight. Ancestors were placed high on limestone cliffs overlooking their communities and fields. From the valleys, one could look up and see the tombs of the ancestors. There were two main kinds of funerary structures. First, sarcophagi, or purunmakis. Capsule-like coffins of clay, sticks, and grass, often modeled as human figures with large stylized heads. Built in groups on narrow ledges, exposed to the elements but protected from scavengers. Second, cholpas, small funerary houses in caves or on cliffsides, of stone or adobe, for multiple burials. Both types bore symbolic designs in red and yellow ochre. Inside, the dead were placed tightly flexed, often mummified, aided by the dry, airy cliffside conditions, and wrapped in layers of fine textiles. Offerings accompanied the body: pottery, tools, personal possessions. At Laguna de los Condores, discovered in 1997, over 200 mummy bundles revealed extraordinary preservation, yielding insights into health, diet, and genetics. These cliffside tombs express a haunting worldview. Ancestors as silent guardians, faces looking out from mist-shrouded cliffs for eternity. For centuries, Chachapoya culture developed in relative isolation, protected by rugged mountains. In the mid-15th century, the Inca expanded from the south. Led by Tupac Inca Yupanqui, their armies marched north. Around 1470, they met fierce resistance. Chachapoya strongholds like Cuelap exploited terrain, narrow gates, high walls, and disorienting mist. It was a long and bloody struggle. Ultimately, Inca organization and resources prevailed. Inca structures appear within Cuelap, yet they are few beside hundreds of round houses. The Mitma policy moved populations, but full assimilation never came. The spirit of resistance simmered on. In the 1530s, Spaniards arrived, with diseases moving even faster than men. Smallpox and measles swept the continent. Within a generation, populations may have fallen by as much as 90%. Communities vanished, the social fabric unraveled. There were too few to farm, repair, or even bury the dead as custom required. The complex structure that built Cuelap collapsed. The fortress was abandoned. The forest reclaimed their cities. Memory faded into legend. In 1843, Juan Crisostomo Nieto, guided by villagers, brought Cuelap to outside attention. 20th century investigations mapped, conserved, and began to read the stones. Cuelap stands today as a silent monument to a vanished world, a new lost world every week.